Late last week, Los Angeles police searching a home in Hollywood Hills that the singer was staying at, removing several items, including a computer. Neighbors saying the Tesla had been parked in front of the home for a while before moving to 2 different places on the street.
And somebody in my comment section posted this photo and my mouth was dropped wide open.
They don't know necessarily that it was murder. It could have been something else, like an accident or an and that the body was disposed of improperly. They don't know.
On the 8th of September, the body of a 13-year-old missing girl was discovered in the trunk of an abandoned Tesla, registered to singer David. For the first time since the discovery, Celeste's family is speaking out. And allegedly, they knew about David. And according to some witnesses, David might have actually paid Celeste's mom to stay quiet. Not only that, but allegedly, Dave might have been involved with Celeste back when she was just 11, and she might even have been pregnant.
Tonight, more than a week after a body was found inside an impounded Tesla registered to the singer who goes by the stage name David, Los Angeles investigators identifying the remains as 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, the same girl who was reported missing last year, according to the Riverside County Sheriff's Office. Police first found the teen's decomposed body on September 8th after being called to a Hollywood tow yard because of a foul odor coming from the Tesla, which was impounded after a person reported the car abandoned. Law enforcement sources say the remains were not intact, and according to the medical examiner, it appeared the girl, who is described as having wavy black hair and weighing about 71 pounds, had been dead inside the Tesla for an extended period of time. The singer David, whose real name is David Anthony Burke, rose to fame on TikTok and is currently on tour.
On the day of her 15th birthday, the decomposing body of Celeste Rivas Hernandez was found wrapped in a plastic sheet in the front trunk of a Tesla, registered to David. Celeste had been reported missing in 2024, and according to her parents, they had no idea where she was. It is now becoming clear, however, that David had been forcing Celeste to stay with her in LA, essentially holding her hostage.
David Anthony Burke.
When the body was found, the LAPD didn't know much about it because it was so heavily decomposed, but it was a female who had been around 5'2", they thought, and from what they could tell, around 71 pounds, or that is what was left of the remains. So, I mean, it got really gruesome in that moment because the body had clearly been in that trunk for so long.
The body, that of a young teen named Celeste Rivas, seen in this photo from authorities, who authorities say went missing last year from Lake Elsinore, California.
She was 13 years old when she went missing. She would have been 15 had she been living now, but she'd been missing since last year.
Celeste Rivas' mom talked to TMZ, and she said that her daughter was dating somebody named David. She didn't know who he was, but all of this is going to come into play as the LAPD is trying to understand if there was a relationship between David and Celeste Rivas.
To put just how big of a deal this is, you need to understand that David was essentially the next Billie Eilish. With more than 30 million Spotify listeners and more than 1 billion views on YouTube, he signed his first record deal at the age of 17. And in the last 2 years has collaborated with some of the biggest artists and companies in the world. Amazon, Fortnite, Kali Olshes, and Benny Blanco have all worked with David.
David was not like some crazy, obscure, completely underground figure that like nobody had ever heard of. Like, this guy had a very large and respectable social media following, had done some pretty big interviews with traditional media and sort of new media and podcast media. I mean, I admit, as somebody who regularly covers music, I myself was not aware of this either, but also I've never formally reviewed David's stuff and never dug into him because personally, I just don't find his music that interesting. However, there were clearly a lot of people out there who did, and the fact that this was just going over the heads of so many or just not registering to a lot of people as a sign of something bad is just strange, especially given that in the wake of Celeste being ID'd, fans have not been having a hard time finding a bunch of different context clues, be it in some of David's biggest songs like Romantic Homicide David, a track that when you look on YouTube was apparently released on Celeste's birthday. There's also been a leaked Celeste song with some pretty disturbing lyrics laced into it as well. And these things are concerning enough and honestly are just the tip of the iceberg in terms of like the various connections people have been making.
When Celeste was first discovered, David's fans started saying that this was just a case of a bad coincidence and that David had nothing to do with Celeste. After all, why would a world-famous music artist be involved with a 13-year-old girl? Details later came out, however, that Celeste and David might actually have been involved in a relationship that allegedly started back when Celeste was just 11.
She may not look it in this picture, but she was just 13 when she went missing. Celeste's birthday, the 15th birthday, was the day before her body was found. But since it was the stench of rotting human remains that led the impound workers to call the LAPD, it is almost certain that Celeste did not live to see 15. For David, who's now on a world tour, none of this is good news, but it's not bad for him yet, legally speaking. That said, here are some of the bizarre coincidences that you cannot ignore in this murder case. This murder teenager and the up-and-coming singer both have the same tattoos on their right index fingers, reading, "Shh." To be fair, it is a popular tattoo, SHHH, far from unique. But Celeste's mother says that her daughter was dating somebody named David when she went missing. And yes, David is a common name. I get it. Then there's the photo. A photo of David, the singer, in Celeste's neighborhood, not far from her house, minutes actually walking, right before she disappeared. And should I say that Celeste's house is like over an hour away from where David was living, so not likely just to be there for no reason. And now we know that in December of 2023, a song leaked out that is highly curious in retrospect. It is a demo track by David, and it's called, say it with me now, Celeste.
At this point, it is clear that David and Celeste knew each other. Clips of David and Celeste walking together and even staying together in the same house have leaked online. And to make matters worse, David's friends knew that Celeste was underage. His fans, his friends, and even his manager are all equally responsible here. Why was David hanging out with a 13-year-old girl? And why did no one say anything?
Yeah, that's it, water. It's in water. It's in water. It's in water.
Why, you look good?
Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
W's in the chat, man.
Yo, wait. Pray for his career chat. Are we done? Are we?
We need to delete this.
Are we? Maz, can we delete all VODs? And then as soon as the stream ends, delete the stream too? Can we delete everything? You done for, bro? Y'all are not done? Now you going to Epstein? Yo, wait.
Oh, look it. Answer that one. That's so mean if you don't answer
Which
that.
one? What's good to have a big family? Bro, thank you, Mitchell Conjo. Appreciate you. He trained you.
No, you didn't.
That's controversial.
It's controversial of rape kids.
Really good.
Okay,
It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mwah. Oh my. Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes.
This is a heartbreaking story. David's fans joked that he was a and they even knew that Celeste had been reported missing. Some of David's fans that were present in his Discord messaged David and asked him if Celeste was the same girl that had been reported missing. David's friends are now saying that they actually thought that Celeste was 19, and that's why they didn't say anything.
That's just so crazy because, we think, how does a 14-year-old child present as a 19-year-old woman? And I was told that these people were just so sure that she was a college student. They were specific. They said that she attended USC from what they believed. And also she was seen at events where there's age restrictions, you know, clubs and parties and stuff like this, where she had to be at least of 18 years old to get in. And we do know from law enforcement sources that she did have several fake IDs as well. So she was able to get into places where there was age restrictions. But,
you know, Charlie, it's so sad to hear that you and I are talking about a 14-year-old girl, but I keep going back to the fact that it's possible he connected with her as early as 12, and on the far end, maybe even 11.
David was dropping hints the entire time he was with Celeste. His song, Romantic Homicide, released on Celeste's birthday, and in this song, he talks about killing someone and how he didn't care that they were dead. David has also talked about how he feels like death is a way to stay connected, which is the same thing that people like Jeffrey Dahmer believed.
He wears his blindfold and he's basically an agent of chaos and kind of my alter ego. And the story of the manga went like I was a detective and there was an evil version of myself that would kind of come out at random moments, kind of like Fight Club with Tyler Durden. And he would commit the crimes that I would have to solve as the detective. So like when I was as the detective, I'd be like solving murder, I'm committing myself.
He found out that David used to watch live leak videos and even admitted to laughing at them in the past. If you don't know what live leak is, it's basically a place that you could go to see people no longer be alive, like videos of that. Now, if you listen to the lyrics of David's songs, it's very obvious that when he said he watched those live leak videos, he was probably being serious. In addition to the live leak stuff, Turkey Tom also found out that David had been called out for what he was doing in his Discord. Allegedly, David would only add girls that were not of age back on Discord, while ignoring requests from boys to be added. There was one guy that pretended to be a girl that was not of age and was quickly added by David, but on his main account, David would never add him. Now that, in addition to things like Robin Rivers' comment, it really shows a pattern of David liking them young. And for everyone saying that David isn't a suspect in the police investigation, that is simply misinformation. Police have only not announced who they're looking into. What they haven't done is clear David as a suspect. And judging by the fact that the police not only raided David's rental house recently.
Right after the Fortnite stuff was going on, I moved to TikTok and started doing the covers because I started out as the meme thing. And then I made Romantic Homicide. And it was so different than everything else I had made because it was actually sad. It was slow, it was sad, it was emotional. It had weight to it. Most of my other songs like Take Me to the Sun and The Dirty Secrets before that and You and I, they're all like these indie up-tempo records that you could just like do whatever to. And I played it for my mom. And whenever my mom hates something, I know it's cool. Like when I used to get up and get dressed for school in the morning, I put on this cool fit. She would like, take that off, put on a suit or something like that, you know? I knew it was cool if she hated it. I played it for her in the car. And she was like, David, this song is too violent. You're talking about killing people in your music? No, not my son. And I was like, wait, I might be onto something, bro. So I dropped it right after that. And it went crazy. TikTok, viral, 1 million views overnight. I was like, oh yeah, we cooking, boy. We cooking, boy. So right at that moment, I was like, my mom has done it again. Because if she said, oh, because I was already skeptical about the song when I made it. Like, I was like, okay, maybe it's just too dark, I don't know what I'm doing. I held on to it for a minute.
David has also been caught deleting evidence. Messages between Celeste and David in which Celeste allegedly showed David's fans a picture of her ring are being deleted. These messages prove that David's manager and his team all knew about Celeste and how she was missing. There is even evidence that proves David's manager, Josh, helped him move Celeste to his LA house.
David's Discord moderators are deleting everything in the Discord server, but honestly, I don't think they're that smart, and I don't think they've ever read the rules of Discord, because Discord can download all of that information. But in my opinion, I'm pretty sure the police probably have already been through Discord already, and that's probably one of the reasons why they were able to get a search warrant for the residence that David was living at. Mind you, one of the things that they took out of the home was the computer. Some of these moderators are trying anyway. They were literally talking about purging his Discord, deleting messages, and even deleting pictures throughout the day yesterday. And I mean, at this point, we know exactly why they're trying to purge this Discord, because they are trying to get rid of the information that people were literally exposing him a whole year ago when it came to Celeste Hernandez. I mean, people were calling her out by her whole entire name in this Discord chat to David. I'm I'm sure that this statement from the Discord and Twitch staff confirming that Celeste Hernandez was on 2 streams with David really started getting them shook. But they claimed that they did not know that she was missing, and they thought that she was around 18 to 19 years old. People have went so far into David's Discord before this purge started happening that they were finding stuff like this, like a comment from that deleted user that a lot of people believe is Celeste, that posted a picture wearing a ring and a tattoo on one of her fingers saying David. In this chat on David's Discord, this Zay person says happy birthday, and it's to deleted user, and the date is 9/07/2022, and they say thanks babe. We know 9/07 is Celeste's birthday. And people in David's Discord have even alleged more, that it was more than just Celeste that David was allegedly talking to that was underage. Some of these Discord users that are in David's Discord are acting like this was something that he would normally do.
A private investigator by the name of Steve Fisher was hired to look into Celeste's disappearance after the first time she went missing. And once he emailed David's manager, Josh, Celeste returned the very next day. Josh knew that David was hiding Celeste in his house in LA, but he didn't tell anyone. Everyone around David, including his manager, his friends, and even the fans who knew that David was grooming Celeste, is responsible for what happened.
So it's not like it was unknown where this missing runaway was. How did it go unchecked? How did no one knock on the David's door that she went to the movie with and say, she's 13, just turned. Her parents want her back, and you need to come in for questioning.
Yeah, and especially because we know that she had gone missing, run away earlier in 2024, and the police did go and find her that time and bring her back to her family in Lake Elsinore. So when it happened the second time, why didn't the police go? Why didn't family members go?
It's just astounding to think that, you know, in 2022, when chat groups suggested, is Celeste in here? Yeah, you bet, David. Like, she'd have been just 12. She'd have been fresh out of being 11 years old when the contact may have first been made. If you do the math, he might have been 17 at that point. At the point where they're meeting up, she's 13, he's 18. There's no Romeo and Juliet law that would protect you there.
No.
And then at 19, and she's 14, it's still not good. And then he's now 20. So they may have, I'm not sure when his birthday is, but they may have been 20 and 14 years old if they were together romantically. And again, ain't no law, nowhere, no how, unless your parents are signing off on it, that says that's legal.
Yeah, and it's very clear that her mother was not signing off on this, just from our conversations with her. There are so many questions here about what this the nature of this relationship was, and clearly how long it was going on.
Celeste was 130 pounds when she went missing, and when the police found her, she was just 7 pounds. TMZ has also reported that Celeste's body had been dismembered, although there is speculation that the dismemberment was most likely due to the advanced stage of decomposition that she was found in. There are even some screenshots that show David telling his Discord community that Celeste was pregnant. A conversation between David and a deleted user proved to be, Celeste reads, "Me and Celeste got a kid on the way."
They don't know necessarily that it was murder. It could have been something else, like an accident or an overdose, and that the body was disposed of improperly. They don't know.
When the news first broke on September 9th, David was nearly 2,000 miles away in Minneapolis on tour.
David went on stage and performed that night and didn't acknowledge anything that happened. And I think that appeared to be a little bit offsetting for people.
Late last week, Los Angeles police searching a home in Hollywood Hills that the singer was staying at, removing several items, including a computer. Neighbors saying the Tesla had been parked in front of the home for a while before moving to 2 different places on the street.
It's a little weird to see a car that I haven't seen here for a long time. Had a big dent on it, had a Texas plate on it. So all a little odd, but at the same time, you know, people could be hanging out with friends for, you know, prolonged time.
It was banged up and kept moving from one place to other place within a couple of blocks from here.
The body discovered after the Tesla was impounded and taken to this tow yard for 2 days before workers noticing an odor coming from the front trunk.
There was one real identifying feature that was on the human remains that was left behind, and that was a tattoo on the right index finger on the inside that read, "Shh." David has that exact same tattoo on his right index finger, as do other celebrities. Rihanna apparently made this popular. This tattoo is not incriminating yet, and the LAPD doesn't even know if the tattoo will come into play in all of this.
The singer canceling the rest of his domestic tour after Celeste's identity was released.
David hasn't been named as a suspect in this case, which is shocking to everyone. His house in LA has been raided, and officers were seen carrying out a computer. Neighbors have also confirmed that the same Tesla in which Celeste was eventually found had been parked outside David's house weeks before it was taken to the tow yard. It is possible that Celeste was already in the car during this time.
I got to tell you about the search at the house. We know what while we don't know what they actually left with, we know from law enforcement sources what they were looking for and what they did inside the house. You know, they were looking for blood evidence. We're told that the detectives went through the house. There was with luminol, thinking that if whatever happened to Celeste, if she met her demise in the house, they wanted to see if there was any evidence of blood anywhere in the home. So they were using luminol around the house. They were checking drains to see if there's any, blood evidence or, blood or tissue that was in the drains there. So they did a scouring of this house looking for any evidence. Again, we don't know what, if anything, they found, but our law enforcement sources say when they executed this search warrant, that was on the list, a very long list of things they were looking for in that house.
That's very painful to hear, because we know that this body was dismembered and not all parts of this body were recovered. So it would make perfect sense if they were looking to see where that dismembering happened.
Right.
And also, just remind me, this house is being rented by David's manager.
Yeah, you got to keep in mind that David is a very young, he's 20 years old. So from what we've seen as listings, this house is going, $20,000 that it can be rented for $20,000 a month. It is a large home. It's an estate, really. That's not the kind of thing even a famous 20-year-old could do on his own typically. So it is his manager, a guy who is connected to Interscope Records.
Josh Marshall is his name,
yes.
right?
Yes. So he is the person we found out who was actually on the lease, who was renting this. But again, from all the photos that David has posted, it's very clear he was staying in this home, if not all the time, frequently he was staying there.
The weirdest part of this story is how the police are seemingly doing nothing. Celeste's brother said that he went to the police with evidence that David was involved, but they didn't take him seriously. Even with so much evidence tying David to Celeste, including videos of the two hanging out together, David hasn't even been named as a person of interest in the case. TMZ has reported that the police aren't telling them anything and have been strangely silent.
Celeste Hernandez's family is speaking out about her relationship with David. Celeste's brother, named Matthew Rivas, told NBCLA that the family was aware of the alleged relationship between Celeste and David. Claimed that his sister vanished after going to see a movie with David in May of last year and never returned. Matthew claimed that David would frequently pick up Celeste in the same Tesla Model Y in which her remains were later discovered in. Just for a reminder, her mother came out to TMZ earlier this week and told them that her daughter had a boyfriend named David and had a tattoo on her right index finger that read "shh." They also have content creators and streamers that are talking to her brother Matthew as well. In this message, he sends a lot of pictures of him and Celeste, and he also starts saying F David, and I hope he real slow. Now I want to talk a little bit more about the video that I just did a little while ago. We were talking about Celeste allegedly having this account where it shows her with a ring on her finger and a tattoo of David on one of her fingers. And somebody in my comment section posted this photo and my mouth was dropped wide open. Not only does it look similar to Celeste, you can also see a ring on the finger that looks similar to the ring that was on the picture on Discord. In this photo, it's not only the ring that caught my attention. Apparently, whoever this is has makeup on, but I really got to looking at the hair, and it's brown and red. Some of the pictures floating around of Celeste right now, you can literally see her hair is brown and red. Also, here is another one, brown with a red tint. When I got into the conversation about the ring, I showed this account that a lot of her friends saying was Celeste's burner account, basically when she ran away. On this account, she was tagging David a lot, and he would even reshare her story. This post really made me gasp because we see she did a story and she did a Q&A, and they said, not gonna lie, David is kinda hot. And you can see her take a photo with a ring with a tattoo that says David on her finger.
A video of Celeste's teacher, who apparently knew that Celeste had been hanging out with David, has also leaked on social media. Allegedly, this wasn't the first time David had kidnapped Celeste. Nime Ramani said that David has to answer for a lot more than just kidnapping. If there is any force or coercion that could be kidnapping, that could be trafficking, that's the exposure that David has, setting aside the fact that she's now been found dead.
Classroom. Hold up. That's her in my classroom in front of this poster right here. Okay, hold up. I got another one because I got a picture on TMZ of this other kid exchanging stuff with the rapper who we alleged did this stuff. Hold on a second, because he's also in my classroom.
Wait, how long ago was
this? We all just found out yesterday who it was, but she's been missing since I taught her. So when I taught her, she met this dude on social media. He was a rapper in LA. He came and got her. She ran away from home. She was gone for like a month. The cops found her in Hollywood, brought her back to our school. She came back to our school, kind of told people this story. She disappeared again in May of that year, May of 2024. That's when her friends told me what happened, that it was this rapper, that they were like blackmailing him, all of this stuff. And then I found out yesterday that she's now dead in that rapper's car, cut into pieces. You want to know how they met? I feel like I just said it. Social media. Let me tell you another story. Hold on.
The police have confirmed that Celeste's body has now been returned to her family, which could mean that a cause of death has finally been determined. Information about this hasn't been released yet, but one thing is for sure. Even if David didn't know about her death, he was still living with a 13-year-old child that had been missing for over a year.
The family of Celeste Rivas Hernandez is now making plans to honor her life.
Yeah, Eyewitness News reporter Monica Deanda live in Hollywood with the details for us. Monica.
John, Rachel, Tony, good morning. We do know now that the family of Celeste Rivas has her remains and is now one step closer to laying her to rest. But what we still don't know is how Celeste Rivas died, who did it, and why.
An investigation into the death of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas continues as the LA County Medical Examiner confirms her remains have now been released to her family for memorial services. That could indicate a cause of death has been determined, but that information has not been released. This more than 2 weeks after Rivas's dismembered and decomposing body was found at a tow yard inside a Tesla registered to singer David.
It's an ongoing investigation. We have a lot of resources dedicated to bringing it to a conclusion.
LAPD Chief Jim McDonnell speaking with Eyewitness News yesterday about the relationship between 20-year-old David and Rivas, who just turned 15 this month.
There are discussions that they might have had a relationship. Would you investigate that relationship as a possibility? Because it could be illegal to have a relationship with somebody that age.
Yeah, certainly whenever you investigate a homicide, the detectives look at all of the associated issues as well. In this case, that's something that they would be looking at.
Last week, investigators took a computer as they searched a Hollywood Hills home where David has recently stayed.
This story is heartbreaking and disturbing, and Celeste's family deserves justice and support. If you found this video informative, please share it to help raise awareness. Leave your thoughts and any updates you've heard in the comments, and let's keep the conversation focused on demanding accountability.